Hi, I'm Ralph Laughton, and in this series of videos I'm going to show you how we built this simple hall table. Now it's time to return to the top. We glued it up earlier. Glue's cured, and we're now going to release the crimps and flatten the top. So put the board down, just hang the crimps back up. Now we've got the board. First thing we've got to do is decide which side's going to be the top and which is going to be the bottom. And I think this is the top. So we need to remove the dry glue and just plane it flat. Now there's a little ridge there, even though we did put a spline in there. It's not much, it'll soon come out with a plane. So let's just give it a go and see how we get on. Bit too coarse there. Right, we're just working our way down here, taking the glue off, smoothing it up a bit. It's getting there. We've got a bit of grain running the other way here, which is causing a little bit of a problem, but you can see how the plane is picking up there as I go across. That means there must be a little bow in that board, which we can flatten off by just cutting across the board like this. You can check how flat it is by using the edge of the plane, and I can see here I've got a high bit there, so I need to do a little bit more work on it there, but that's the general idea, and we'll just carry on doing that until we get it flat. Once we've got the surface flat, we can then start preparing the surface ready for the final finishing. We can carry on with a plane getting smoother and smoother, finer and finer, but especially with a nice bit of white oak like this, I prefer to use a scraper. Now when you're using a scraper, you need to be able to produce little shavings like that. If it's turning out just dust, it's not sharp enough, and if you don't know how to sharpen a scraper, we'll tell you another day. But this is what you should be getting. You should be getting nice clean shavings like that. Now you just carry on working your way over the board until the whole board is nice and smooth. Now you will find that if you're cutting, you will generate some heat. Apart from having thumbs like Popeye, you also have to have asbestos ones, because that's quite hot now. And you can't carry on when it's too hot. Not for any other reason other than you can't hold the thing. Now you don't really want to stop like that, which I've done a couple of times, because you just make a ridge and you can see there's just like furry bits. So you must take it to the end or lift it on a stroke to actually leave a smooth finish. And we'll just carry on working on that until we're all nice and smooth. Now we've finished flattening it off, and it's time to trim it to size. So we're just marking it off here to length, pencil line through there. Just going to confirm that mark with a knife. I also want to just put a cut down there so that when the saw goes through, it doesn't break out that last bit of timber. So using a panel saw, we can cut to length. Now if that's getting a bit stiff, we use my old favourite, put a bit of wax on there, and again, as we've seen several times, makes all the difference. Well, that's the top flattened, and this is the table. No glue, just put together, standing there, joints holding it together. Got a bit of finishing to do. We're going to run over, take it all apart now we know it fits, run over each edge with a fine set plane just to give us a nice finish to the timber. Break the arris, which is you saw me do earlier with a piece of wood, where we just run a block plane down the edges. It does two things. It just makes those edges a bit more finger friendly, but also when you put a varnish or a finish of any kind on there, if you don't break the arris, it tends to go up to it and stop, and the surface tension stops at that corner and then goes round, whereas if you break or soften that edge, the finish will just flow round the edge. So we're going to do all that. When we've done that, the simplest way to keep a little narrow top like this on the frame is, these are a couple of the offcuts from the legs. I'll just drill a couple of holes in there next to each other to make an oval hole, and these will be screwed just short of the inside of the top of the rail by about 1 millimetre on each side, and then a screw with a nice big penny washer on it will go up through there into the surface. Now the penny washer has two uses. It enables it to move a bit, but it also stops the screw pulling its way into the timber too far and appearing through the top, which we don't want. That's it, that's the bulk of the work done. The table's assembled. We've got the basic thing made there. We've got to do a little bit more finishing before we apply the finish, and as you can see, a nicely proportioned hall table.